Picture a barren wooden frame, just a skeleton of 2x4s resting on a trailer. Now imagine that same shell transforming into a warm, fully finished home, complete with lighting, flooring, and everything you need to live comfortably. This diagram outlines the exact 5-step roadmap we are going to follow to get there. We will walk through framing the interior, wiring the electrical, routing the plumbing and insulation, closing the walls, and finally installing the interior fixtures. Before picking up a hammer, you have to lock in a few prerequisites. You need to decide if you are building on a permanent foundation or on wheels, check your local zoning permits, and secure a realistic budget of anywhere between $15,000 and $40,000. If you choose to build on wheels, there is an immediate structural risk you need to plan for: uneven weight distribution. You must balance the heavy elements, like your kitchen appliances and water tanks, evenly across the trailer to prevent towing disasters. Sorting out your legal paperwork and balancing your structural layout right at the start is the only reliable way to keep your build safe and prevent massive budget overruns down the line. Step 1 is framing. We start inside the shell by building the interior walls that separate your bathroom from the main living area. For this, you will use standard 2x4 lumber. Cut and assemble your studs, making sure to leave a specific 28-inch opening where your interior door will go. Check every single piece of lumber with a level before securing it. If your studs are even slightly crooked now, your cabinets won't sit flush and your drywall will crack later. Step 2 is the electrical system. Start by marking exactly where your outlets and light switches will live. Then drill straight, clean routing holes horizontally through the center of your newly leveled studs. Notice the 2 wire types. On the left, yellow 14x2 wire routes to standard outlets. On the right, thicker orange 10x2 wire handles high-draw kitchen appliances, routing to a 100 amp breaker. Finally, metal safety plates slide over drilled holes to block incoming screws. Running the cables yourself saves money, but having a licensed electrician inspect your layout before connecting to grid power is a non-negotiable safety measure to prevent fire hazards. Step 3 brings us to plumbing and insulation. For water, route flexible PEX tubing through the wall framing, separating your hot and cold lines. You need to wrap every inch of that PEX tubing in foam sleeves. This step stops your pipes from freezing in the winter and prevents condensation from dripping inside your walls during the summer. Next, fill the empty cavities between your wall studs and ceiling rafters with R13 fiberglass insulation, pressing it in tightly so there are no air gaps. In a space this small, that insulation performs 2 critical jobs. It stabilizes the indoor temperature and it dampens outside noise, making the cabin actually livable. This cross-section shows what happens if you skip this step or use cheap materials. Extreme outdoor cold and indoor heat clash to create condensation right inside the wall cavity. Proper R13 bats block that moisture transfer completely. Meticulous pipe wrapping and dense insulation act as invisible shields, protecting the bones of your home from internal rot and toxic black mold. Now for step 4, closing the walls. The materials you use here depend strictly on what each room is designed to do. In this illustration, notice the contrast. For wet zones like the kitchen and bathroom shower wall, you must install rigid cement board behind your tile to prevent long-term water damage. Over in the dry living areas, you can secure aesthetic wood finishes directly to the studs, like pine shiplap or tongue-and-groove boards, to give the space its character. Step 5 brings us to the interior build-out. Because square footage is heavily restricted, you have to install multifunctional fixtures, like staircases built out of stacked hidden storage compartments. In the kitchen, secure your lower base cabinets to the wall framing and carefully measure and cut out sections of your butcher block countertops to drop in your sink and cooktop. Finish the major utility setups by mounting a compact tankless water heater and lock in your luxury vinyl plank flooring, which is highly durable and waterproof. Warning tone: never permanently seal your walls without leaving removable access panels near your plumbing connections and electrical junctions. If a pipe leaks later, you need a way to reach it without tearing down your finished walls. Selecting durable finishes and maintaining access to your systems successfully transforms a mechanical framework into a highly functional, long-lasting living space. After following those 5 steps, your bare shell becomes this:
a warmly lit tiny home featuring rich butcher block countertops, waterproof flooring, and cohesive wood walls. To keep it looking this way, you have a set of non-negotiable maintenance rules. Every season, inspect your roof, check window seals for cracks, and verify no plumbing drips. Prioritizing this preventative maintenance is crucial in a microspace. A tiny water leak or a drafty window can compromise your entire living area in a matter of days. Building a DIY tiny house from scratch demands patience and steady labor. But it rewards you with a practical set of construction skills, genuine pride in your craftsmanship, and a path to a debt-free lifestyle.